Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off the checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're the first to know when new episodes are available. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Roundtable. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I'm the Clydesdale. She is Amy Radowski. She's all about friendship.
Oh, well, it's from a comp I did. Oh, I think I won it too.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah.
It actually looks like a pretty blue sky, which we do not have here in Ohio.
We do not. It's very rainy and yucky today. It's kind of yuck. For
So
sure.
at least your shirt is brightening my day.
Oh, I thought it would be my smile.
Oh, that too. And you're wearing makeup and everything because you have friends from out of town?
Yep, I did. I went out to lunch with some girlfriends from high school. So that was fun to hang out and do all that. And then, yeah, I was racing back here because I coached this morning and I'm coaching this evening. So people won't recognize me at the gym this afternoon because I'm wearing my makeup.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know what makes me happy? Charlie got us the Midnight Cherry C4.
Yep.
And it makes me very happy.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually rehydrating with my Extend rehydration sticks. Right here.
Yeah, did you work out this morning?
I did. It was testing 1 rep max snatch. And let's talk about that for a second. I
saw a video.
Yep.
Looked happy.
I did not PR my weight. But I definitely PR'd my form. I definitely PRing that because like when it started to feel bad, I was like, just stop. And I need to hit 3 reps at this weight really good before I'll even allow myself to add any more weight. And so I did. So you got to see one of the snappy ones. So then I let myself add a little bit more weight. So.
Well, I just got to say, you know, I was there on day 1 of your CrossFit career.
You were.
Your snatch has come light years from where it was to where it is now. You were so quick into the bottom and the catch now compared to what you used to be. You were very much a catch high and ride it down. And now you're catching it deep in the squat.
And also I'm hitting my pockets. I never did that before.
I know. Arms straight, not bent.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like a whole new Amy.
I know. It's like you can actually, if you just stop worrying about going so fast and just like slow down, you know, this is how I know I'm maturing as an athlete.
So I did that to pump you up.
Thank you.
And then I wanted to talk about that you're back to muscle up progressions.
Okay, Leah, let's talk about that. Well, here's the deal. We reached out. My coach that's been helping me here has said, listen, we've been trying everything. Why don't you reach out to one of your CrossFit people? So I sent my muscle up videos to Justin Kotler and said, can you give me some tips? We're at a loss of where to go. And he said, you know, you really should do more strict stuff. So the last 3 or 4 sessions, we work every Sunday. We've totally been focusing on strict strength. And then like the last 10 minutes of our session, we just go into doing like some maybe some kipping attempts, but we're not even really working on kipping. So that's more so just at the end. But listen, I'm working on it. The montage video that I'll be able to make when this is all done is going to be amazing. It's going to be so inspirational.
You'll probably go over the video limit of how much you can put in one video.
It's possible. It's possible, but it will be a montage to the hard work I've been working on. And yes, Corey, I think that he would say I have a nice snatch.
I think I already did.
Yeah, he did say.
So as your long-term friend and sometimes coach,
Yeah.
I really think it's just your turnover.
Yeah, it is, but I'm lacking,
You lack any of the strength. I don't think you're lacking any of that. I think you have a fear to go from here to here
there's a lacking of strength component where just like this little part right here.
and getting over top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you look at my strict ones, my strict are getting way better.
Okay.
So,
I'm
hi,
hoping
Andrew.
we don't have to wait to the open for another shot.
You guys, do you think they could possibly move the season?
No.
Okay, good. Not this year.
I think they tried it and realized it there is a correlation with people coming to affiliates in January and doing the open in February.
You're right.
They found, I think, by moving it to the fall the 1 year, they learned that that is not a good idea.
Mm-mm.
And when they kept messing with things, and now we're finally back some semblance of what we were before we made that change. Let's not mess that up again. Now, could they move like where the games are? Could they move like that part of the season? Sure, but I don't think they could move the open without adverse effect.
Okay. I agree, Corey. I can't handle 2 opens in 1 year anymore.
Yeah, that's my personal opinion. I mean, I don't have any facts to back it up other than what I said, that it was a total disaster the last time they tried it. So I pray to God they don't do that again.
Did you work out today?
I did not.
Are you
I
going
am
to work
still
out?
on recovery.
Okay.
So where I'm at now is like everything is pretty good.
Do our listeners even know?
Huh?
Do our listeners know?
So I think I said it last week that I came back from Madison with that thing that can get us demonetized.
Yep.
Begins with a C.
Mm-hmm.
And then my wife got it, and
It was
she
the thing I
definitely
brought home from Mexico.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I've been blaming you for a week, just so you know.
Okay. Wow. We weren't together when I was contagious, but okay.
I know.
Okay.
I know. And other people have reported to me that they have returned from Madison with the same thing. So not in our
Yeah.
group,
Yeah.
but like externally from us.
I think it's just
So-
I think it's going around again in general, like a pretty mild variant.
So my wife got it. It really knocked her out.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've been cooking and doing stuff like that through all this. But the big thing is right now when I get up from my chair, like I'm still a little woozy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think like today's like the last day, I'm hoping. And then tomorrow I can get back to just normal functionality of everything. My voice is a little bit weak.
Yeah.
But it's not like in all honesty, I'm coughing less now. My sinuses are better than they were for 6 months prior to this. I actually can smell again, which I couldn't do before. So maybe this right it or wrong. But I had to go through like this week to get through it.
And for our listeners to know, though, it does seem to be that every time we go to the games, you end up getting sick. And I think it's for a couple of reasons. I mean, it could just be one, just the travel, you're around different types of people. But I think it's also just because it's constant working, you know?
I think that's it. I get 6 hours sleep tops
Right. Yeah.
a night.
Yeah.
And it's just constant working. You're constantly thinking about things. It's mentally draining.
Yeah.
And I know that adds just as much fatigue than physical.
Mhm.
Not to mention you're moving all over the campus.
That's
at
what I
different
mean.
times. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, Corey, I think I got a hard reset.
But here's the other thing I will tell you that I noticed. So, like, when I was coming back and recovering, like, I felt better, and so I worked out and I hit it like I normally would because my energy felt good. And then I took a look at my heart rate during my workout, and I got up to 197. So clearly, my body was still working through the virus. So I had to dial it back, a little bit just so I could make sure I was fully recovered. So watch that yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So the one thing I think I forgot my watch charger in Madison.
Shut up.
It's
No.
either that or I told you someone broke into my car. Did I tell you that last week?
No. No. Where?
At our driveway.
Shut up.
Someone broke into our both Julie and I's car and stole all the change and
Oh,
everything out of it. Nothing else. Like my good sunglasses were still there, but like they may have taken the charger.
yeah.
I don't know.
That's weird.
So anyway, I'm getting it on Amazon, but it's going to be a day or two
Yeah, that
to
sucks.
get that back.
What about, did they break
Um,
into your windows? Like break your windows or what?
Apparently, like it was the day after I got back. So I
Okay.
think like, in the hustle and bustle of like unloading the car,
You didn't
like
lock
I
it.
just didn't get the car locked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in some sense, that's good because that you don't have broken windows.
Nope. And they didn't really take much. They took
Yeah.
like, I think I had a dollar bill and maybe 50 cents and change.
Mm-hmm.
It was, it wasn't worth the gamble for them, truly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So yeah, it's been a weird and wild
Hi,
week, but
Jody.
I like that. The sea crew.
Mm-hmm. Sea
Um,
crew.
so I have a couple CrossFit related items that one that you brought up to us in a text over the weekend, and that is
Okay.
that Justin and Ellie spoke,
Yeah.
did a very, very heartfelt video about what went down um, at the games, and very, very revealing. And
Yeah.
with all of like the Haley and the Mal and the, we forget that Justin is in his early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie is a very young athlete as well.
And apparently she's got some big story about to come out too, it sounds like.
Yeah, that she's now comfortable to share.
Yeah.
We're going to be sharing that over the next few months. But Justin talked about the pressure going into the games of having to repeat and how he just didn't feel right from after quarterfinals. He didn't feel right from that point forward. And he couldn't put his finger on what it was. He was feeling the pressure of everything, felt like it was a big mental thing. And then he gets there and the games start in a very bad way with the bike accidents and all of that stuff on top of it. And I think it was just the snowball that rolled.
Well, and he even said he felt like a rookie with his nerves even before the first event. Like he threw up before the first event.
He even said at semifinals he felt
Yeah.
off that way.
And if you look at that, like I totally get that pressure. Like I totally believe that because if you look at his predecessors, you've got Matt Fraser with 5 times in a row, right? You've got Tia, who was, 6 times in a row, and plus other podiums, and then Rich with 4. Like that is a lot of pressure to come in feeling like you have to perform that. Like it's expected that you're going to do that.
Well, being a fan of all sports, you hear that all the time that like the pressure on someone coming back as a champion
Mm-hmm.
is much greater than the chase
Yeah.
to get there, right? To hold on to it. And that even when you are defending, it's more of a relief when you win than it is joy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
And that's why I think Chandler Smith had a much better time at the games because I think he was back to having fun.
Yeah. In all fairness, he wasn't a 2-time games champion coming back either.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like just the pressure and when you totally agree with that. But I'm just talking about the pressure and that aspect of like when it becomes not fun anymore, then it's like let's revisit why are we doing this? You know, well, you're a professional athlete, but I still think even when it is a profession, like if it's not fulfilling and causing you more stress, then what is it worth?
Elise jumps in. He alluded toward not doing off-season comps, which I think would be a good idea. I think that is up to each individual athlete.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes they have to burn off those nerves and burn off that energy in some way. And so I think that is an individual choice. And if he thinks that's the right move, then that's what he needs to do. But he also alluded to spending a few months in Australia with Ellie's family. And maybe that's what he wants, just some time away, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a different environment, just take it up a little bit and kind of get outside of your own head. A lot of times when you're training in your own garage and you live and you train in the same place, all that you have around you is you and for him, Ellie, and your own head. And maybe you just need to get outside of that for a while.
Yeah.
Corey jumps in with the guy chasing has nothing to lose. Totally correct. And then he said, man, I felt bad for Ellie. She looked broken.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's had a bad back injury, like those are the worst.
But thinking back to it, I was thinking of her and what Justin said, how they both, independently talked about how great they felt about the CrossFit community because they felt like they were supported and liked regardless of how they were doing.
Yeah. I thought that was very telling as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you're the champion, that's also the time where people take their shots.
I totally agree. And that's why I was surprised that he said that. But maybe, he's focusing on the positives of that. But I would tend to think that there would be a lot of negative.
Right. And the fact that he was even questioning that when, like, those of us in the space, like Justin's talked about all the time,
Mm-hmm.
in very high regards.
Mm-hmm.
Like and I am one that has not been the biggest fan of Justin's. I have taken they're not personal shots at him. They're just analyzing him as an athlete.
Yeah.
I have not been favorable in all cases. But every time I'm around people, they defend him to me, like that I'm being stupid for saying what I'm saying. He has so many defenders, and it was very telling. I put together a video that Jamie did where she ran the community 5K, interviewing people afterwards, and almost every one of them said they were there to see Justin.
Yeah.
So that's very telling. But you and I have had our own mental health battles, and I know that when you're inside that thing, you can't always see the good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it sounded like that they were going to be followed throughout this next season now. It sounded like this was going to be an ongoing project.
I believe that's true, but I think they're going to be doing it.
Okay.
So I don't think they're being followed. I think they are going to vlog it themselves. Now, my guess is they probably have an editor, someone to put it together and produce it. But I think they're going to carry the camera and do it themselves.
Well, it's definitely sounding very serious between the two of them.
Yes.
Very.
Corey says he probably had a share of haters during and after the games, but he chose to see the positive, and that shows where his heart is at.
There's Charles.
What?
What's up, brother?
What's up?
But
Of course, I come in when Corey's bumping his gums.
I know. He's been waiting for you. He's
you
been here
see-
the whole time.
Did you say
He's been fuming.
Did you say with the twang?
No.
Whoa.
Ah,
Whoa.
wow.
Chris
What
coming
did
in
I
hot.
come in?
And he comes in, what up, Chuck? Is that how it's supposed to sit?
Charlie,
Yeah, there
did you work out today?
No. There's still
You
time.
I'm going to be here. I'm coaching 4:15 to 5:30.
Oh, okay.
Come on in.
Maybe I
I'll
will.
coach you up.
I am kind of bummed I didn't do the workout at Polaris today.
It
Because they
looked
did the game
awful.
workout. It's their version of the pig chip flip chipper. Pig flip
Yeah.
chipper. Only they subs the pig flip with clean and jerks.
Yeah. I'd rather flip a tire.
I don't think they have tires there.
Hmm.
They do
Well,
have a
I mean,
pig.
It's gross today, but I'm just saying in general.
So yeah. So the other thing I had on, I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was announced, I think yesterday, that CrossFit.com is going to rotate in
Guest
guest
program.
programmers, and it starts with 2 weeks of programming by Dave Castro.
Yeah.
He actually put out a video on CrossFit's YouTube page about kind of the thought process behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool about it is he said he thinks that you should do micro retesting, and so he's going to do that in his 2 weeks.
Oh.
So a lot of people will retest like months down the road or a year down the
Yeah.
road, but he said there's value in micro retesting if you do it within 2 weeks. So he has a workout, I think it's 10 rounds of 200-meter run and some muscle ups, like 3 muscle ups.
Mm.
You can go to the CrossFit YouTube page and see this in its entirety. And then it's going to open. That's going to be the first workout of his programming, and it'll again be the workout at the end of the 2 weeks, so you can retest it.
This is a good point that Trish makes.
Trish.
Yeah.
What about during the open when you retest within days?
I mean, that's a micro test.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Sometimes I do, depending. But that is an opportunity.
Yeah,
For micro
and
test.
Lex comes in with, I don't know if I'm too much a fan of 2-week rotation. I think if you're going to do that, then it should be at least 4 weeks or for a full month. So in his video on YouTube, Lex, he doesn't say that it's just going to be 2 weeks for everybody. It may be just that his stint is 2 weeks, but he said it will vary. And names he threw out there were like Tia, Rich, some other seminar staff, people like that. But in no, and I never heard, unless correct me if I'm wrong, I never heard them say that these stints for everybody will be 2 weeks. So it could be a varying amount of time.
Judy asked who does the programming for Shred. So one of our coaches kind of like we do Mayhem programming, but one of our coaches kind of is in charge of kind of looking at that and maybe making some minor tweaks here and there. Like especially we're off of a week of Mayhem, but we do that kind of purposefully. But we do Mayhem.
Me personally, I do about 6 or 7 different ones.
Yeah, Charlie starts day one of about 6 or 7 different ones in the back corner here at Shred CrossFit. And then we have a heart-to-heart about every couple of weeks where I say, just be consistent and stick to the programming we offer. And then that lasts and sticks until he gets another motivation to try 6 or 7 new programs.
Because I'm really microdosing.
Microdosing, micro-testing. I don't know what you're doing.
So Lex says,
Microdose
man,
next week.
Mm-hmm.
Lex says, man, those people have their own programming. Just keep .com true to what it is. I think they're just trying new things, Lex, and I applaud them for that. My guess is that the site visits to .com have been down, and they're just trying to find a way to pique interest back in that. And I think, and this does not necessarily mean it's going to be a permanent thing. Dave says that in the video on the CrossFit YouTube page. And so I think it's just a thing they're trying to see if they can pick some back onto .com.
They call it an audit.
Yeah. Audit when you audit a college class.
Yeah.
So I think this was a shot at Charlie. At Judy, Joe does, and then he comes back with Joe Mama.
Joe Mama. Oh, I see. So Charlie's just auditing the programming.
What?
Or are you talking about Dave Castro, Kenneth? I think he's talking about Charlie just auditing it.
Lex says, I find their CAP programming to be apt to better anyways. So Lex, what programming do you do? Because don't you and Carolyn do your own programming? And do you I don't know, do you sell it? Do you share it with others? I know you put it out on Instagram quite a bit.
I have some non-CrossFit news to share when we're done talking CrossFit.
Lex says, Trish, I'm not talking about Dave. I'm referring to the Tia and Matt and others coming in. They don't need all that. And Trish agrees with that.
Kenneth was referring to Charlie auditing all the programs, looking for the right fit. It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Just has to find the right.
Right. And it might be Orange Theory. Who really knows?
Okay. It's not.
Yeah. You'll never beat Corey at when you go to Orange Theory.
All right. So let's talk about this other thing. You guys, God knows this. What?
Perfect segue.
Okay. Perfect segue. We're done talking about CrossFit. All right, guys. Charlie, you don't even know this yet, but this is some big news. Amy is going to do something. Amy is going to become ordained, and I'm going to officiate a wedding.
What?
Yep. It turns out they even have something like you can get ordained online by the Church of Bacon. But
like our friend Bacon?
Well, it might be. I know a lot of people who might go to that church. But yep, I was asked to officiate a wedding, so I will be going through the process. It's possible. It might happen, Trish. That might happen.
Lord,
you and Ron will be the first to know once I get it. We can have an ordination party for me here. Okay. I'm really hoping I can get ordained by the Ministry of Magic. And then I could use a wand as I'm performing.
I think she wants to be ordained in the Church of Khan.
Trish says, I ordain you in the Church of Trish.
Wait, I like what Charlie just said better. The Church of Khan.
Trish is just trying to get her first disciples.
Oh, okay. This is awesome.
The Church of Khan.
The Church of Khan. We can make that happen, I think. So that's my big news, guys. So I'll keep you guys updated when that is and when we can start celebrating. Okay.
Corey says, why does nobody ever mention the fact that there were 3 bears with a house beds, and prepared food. Like, who gives a shit if it was too hot? They cooked porridge.
Without thumbs. Great
Without
point.
And yeah. Mm-hmm. They had a full-on house with like rocking chairs and beds and all kinds of stuff.
Trish will have to send you your certificate and free Corningware plate.
That would be wonderful because then I can use that for my potlucks all the time.
Your vestment will come from Talbot's.
Oh, that's great.
Judy Reed says Trish is greater than Con. And Trish says you will be baptized in Kentucky bourbon. Wait, no, just Kentucky.
Oh, okay. This is good. I like where we're going with this.
Oh, Trish is the best.
Yes.
So the last thing I wanted to, and it's not CrossFit, is because I've been sick and down and out and watching stupid TV, finally caught the WHAM documentary.
Oh God. Sorry, please go on. Did you cry?
So I put in a dangle earring just for you, Amy.
But did you
in
cry?
memory of George Michael. I did not cry, but it took a turn. It's not what I expected at all.
Okay.
Everybody in the world should have a friend like Andrew Ridgeley. That's what I learned in this documentary. That dude had every right to be jealous, to want more. And when he saw that his friend became way more talented than he was, he basically just stepped aside.
Sorry. You there?
Yeah.
Okay, my phone was ringing, so I was like, my sound got off for a second.
So when George Michael became this superstar and was like, it was just discovered that he was way more talented than Andrew, because Andrew was the original songwriter for WHAM. And then George started writing songs and they were so much better than what he was writing that Andrew knew that his time was done hanging out with and they were best friends from the time they were 11 and 12. And he just basically said, I know my friend is better and that I need to step aside because he needs to go do what he needs to go do.
So he took a different route than Marty Jannetty.
Yes.
He should have learned.
Lex, don't tell me that. You know who George Michael is. It was his first band.
So this is going to show how this is going to paint very perfectly about our personalities, because I also watched a documentary yesterday, and it was not about murder. It could have been. It was Johnny Football.
I have no interest to watch that at all.
I actually found it to be pretty interesting because I think he got a lot of shit for a lot of things, but I also think he never. It changed my perspective a little bit of him because he never changed who he was.
He was always a rich kid.
Yeah, well, he was always just like, I think he was just always this guy that didn't ask for this limelight, and I don't know. It was interesting.
And leave it to Cleveland to just be like, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Chris Field, welcome to the show. Andrew was hot. He was kind of this dashing young guy, and he took advantage of the fame and the Playboy part of WHAM. Even though he wasn't an integral part of the songwriting anymore, he definitely lived the little bit of life he had there with them. So yeah, so Johnny Football never changed who he was. He was always that guy.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it's not too long. I think it's worth a watch. Charlie, you seen it?
No, I have not.
I think you should watch it. I think you should review it for your little special show that the two of you have.
How dare you?
Trish said he emboldened A&M fans. That's a sin in the Church of Trish. It's a sin in the Church of Clydesdale, so.
I wish Trish will make t-shirts because he looks like an elf. This reminds me of when I went to Portland, Oregon one time. I visited the 24-hour Church of Elvis, and it was like the best t-shirt I've ever seen. And I think like Trish could totally make some kind of cool t-shirt about this new ministry that she and Ron are starting. That would be great. Thanks, Trish. Please.
I can crochet a little top for you, sweetie.
That would be wonderful.
So Jody, I don't know what the deepest breath is. Is that the I've seen the George Michael documentary twice, which is amazing. It's better than the WHAM one by far. And then I just watched the WHAM one on Netflix this weekend.
When's Milli Vanilli getting theirs? That's what I want to know.
I've told you about Milli Vanilli. That was my first concert ever.
And you can't even count it as a concert.
Right.
I know. I tried to save my Ticketmaster tickets to see if I could get a refund.
So it's nothing to do with WHAM. Okay, Jody, I'll look it up. The deepest breath. All right.
Sounds
right now, I am working my way through Arnold because two dudes are counting down this week.
Two dudes.
Top 5 Arnold movies of all time. So we will.
I'm into Jody.
I may have to take some Dramamine to watch that, Jody.
I'll get anxious, but I'll watch it.
So yeah, Charlie and I are counting down the top 5 Arnold movies of all time, and we will take me to the chopper.
I'm keeping my mouth shut this time.
Yeah, just making the thumbnail, I forgot about like 5 movies that already moved into my top 5. Like everything's bouncing around.
He doesn't miss. He does not miss.
Last Action Hero.
Okay.
Once he missed.
It's got quality in it.
Oh gosh. My vaping habit does not allow me to free dive anymore. She's too busy blowing clouds.
Haven't you seen those commercials? Stop smoking, Trish. Gosh.
She likes the middle in her system.
What?
So
the middle.
Oh, yeah.
So Kenneth says lots of shows scheduled this week. Just to give you a quick rundown of what's available, what's coming. It is tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. is Ariel Lowen, podium finisher, 3rd fittest woman in the world. Then tomorrow night is the weight loss show at 5 p.m. Then we follow that up Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. with Mikey. And I think it's Witthaus. It might be Witthaus. I don't know. We'll find out when I meet him and talk to him in person. He is the world's fittest short-statured athlete who got screwed.
Excuse me?
Worn.
Do not read that. Do not read that out loud. Do not read that out loud. We will be demonetized.
And just so you guys know, when we say demonetized, we don't make that much money per episode. So I'm cool with like not making the money. It's that we go outside the algorithm of YouTube and then our episode doesn't even get pushed. So that's the part that's the bad thing.
Thanks, Corey.
And then So yeah, Mikey Vithouse, Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Short statured champion, who basically got screwed at the award ceremony at the CrossFit Games. We're going to talk to him about that and what that means. Then Thursday night CrossFit Talk, we're going to talk about the Games hangover competition going on in Wisconsin at CrossFit Funky. I didn't even know that was a thing, but Jeremy Eats World, that's I think his gym. And then Jess is going to be on as a guest host, and she's going to pull up pictures that she took during the games, and we're just going to tell stories based on the pictures that she's pulling up, highlighting her week in the media pit and all the pictures she got. And then Friday, four-time CrossFit Games, not four-time CrossFit Games champion Jason Grubb is going to be on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yes.
And Carolyn says, glad you're bringing him on. I read his post, and she's talking about Mikey Vithouse.
Yeah.
I read his post on Thursday night CrossFit Talk. And just to give you a brief recap, he showed up, he flew in. They did not get to compete at the games. He flew in for the award ceremony. CrossFit did not even have like the champion shirts for those athletes that say like fittest on earth 1, fittest on earth 2. They just gave them generic CrossFit shirts to take the podium with. They didn't get anything extra other than the medal, and they had to fly in, and then it was not broadcast. So his family didn't get to see him get his medal at the CrossFit Games. So we're going to talk to him Wednesday morning, 11:30 about all of that. And
thank you, Trish.
Thank you, Trish, for your tithe. Are you tithing to your own church? Just curious.
Ooh. Sorry, just noticed. Oh, Grubb is the target. Corey, whoa. Let's go.
Wow. Okay, I will clip this, Corey, and show this to him.
Yep.
That's a good stepping stone for Corey before he gets to me. You go work
that's a good
work on getting a grab.
I mean, the only reason why you didn't go this year, Charlie, was because of your hip replacement surgery, and you just needed
That's exactly right.
Your recovery. But you're already ready.
Yep.
And Trish says, yeah, that's a write-off because it's to her own church.
Great.
And then I need to get Lana on. Lana Marcin was at the games. She was covering the 60-plus division of the Masters athletes, and she is on a campaign to get the 65 to 69, 70 to 74, 75 to 79, their own leaderboard. She's not asking for a spot at the games. She's not asking for anything like that, but there's nothing to shoot for without a leaderboard to see where you stand. And so she is just wanting to have leaderboards for all of the age groups so people can see where they stand and give the younger athletes something to shoot for as they age up.
You know, when my dad was really active working out at the gym all the time, he had that same like thought. And I think he even wrote to them, and he wrote to be on the whiteboard because he was wanting to be, you know, measured against people in his age bracket. For sure.
So Carolyn Prevost said, invite our Canadian legend, Susan Clark, 6-time champ. I want to hear her story. We got to interview her after the games, and that interview is up on our YouTube channel now. We got her right as she came off the floor from the award ceremony. What an amazing human being she is. She sat and chatted with us well more than the interview you're going to see on YouTube. But yeah, I would love to have Susan on. For sure, we will reach out to her. And I think is Judy poking the bear at Carolyn?
I think so. I'll say it. I.O.
I think when we had Paige Simmons on, who was a Buckeye.
Yep.
She said that Carolyn pretty much trounced them every year they played hockey in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
that Carolyn's team, well, Carolyn won like national championships, 2-3 national championships when she was at Wisconsin. I'm sure she'll correct me. I know it was multiple.
So many. I did it for you.
I won't reply to Judy. Yeah, I have to. So Carolyn, I have to live with that 24/7, living in this city and not being a Buckeye fan, and everybody doing that crap all the time. So how many national championships was it, Carolyn? And anyway, that's our show. And then the two dudes, I didn't mention that, two dudes, 2-time and 1 finalist to the Gophers.
All right. Well, anyways.
Now, keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming.
I'm going. I do have to go because I got people showing up here for me to coach. So.
All right. Yeah. And then the last thing I didn't mention was the two dudes is this Wednesday at 2 p.m., right, Charlie? And that is the countdown of the Arnold movies. And I'm trying to get through the Arnold documentary just so we can kind of talk about that too. And then we'll give you our recommendations from streaming over the weekend. With that, Ohio State did get them 1 year. That's kind of a backhanded compliment.
It's fine. It's fine.
And I love it. With that, guys, we will catch you next time on the Clydesdale Media Roundtable. You guys are all the best.